Good morning, everyone. I'm watching Naomi Brockwell TV, and she is talking about should you remove the SIM card in your car. I thankfully am very grateful that I have an older model car. I would never buy a new car or a newer used car. Any car that goes back at least 5 years, I wouldn't use. I won't buy. And no, you have no right to collect any data on me that I haven't authorized. And your trickery, especially Ford is getting really bad about this, the trickery that they use to get you to sign a release of your data so they can sell it to brokers is not in layman's terms. It's all legal mumbo jumbo intentionally, so when you read it, you can't make heads or tails of it because you're not a lawyer. And you got to pay a lawyer to read that contract for you before you sign it. And when you're paying outright for a car, as one lady did on here, that Naomi talks about, they tracked everything she did, everything, without her permission. I don't know how many people I've seen commenting that they are walking out of dealerships refusing to buy because she's paying cash for a car. They wanted to do a credit check. Why? What's the credit check for? She's not getting a loan. Why you got to do a credit check? I mean, that credit check hurts your credit score. And they know it, but they still want you to agree. Look, people, buying today's technology is dangerous. And until they put some brakes and some protections on this new technology, some laws in place that protect our personal freedoms. Hell, my Social Security's been stolen, my number. And somebody has already applied for my Social Security, which I can't get because I still owe 2 credits. Now, I'm Social Security age and I can't get the almost 40 years of Social Security I paid into. So I figure, you know what? They get to keep that. I don't have to pay taxes for the next 40 years. Right? Wrong. Anyway, make up your mind about the technology. I know young people are going, oh yeah, I'll throw $100,000 at this car because it's got all this cool technology. That cool technology is designed solely for one purpose. Rip you off. Sell your information. Sell your data. They say, my Social Security number is secured. Right? Wrong. I've gone and looked at it, and I've got it locked down, and people have voted in my frickin' name already, using my Social Security number. People have voted, and it wasn't me voting. I voted locally. And so when I see these other people on my Social Security number that is supposed to be frozen and locked down so it can't be used for other people to get their identification. I don't know how many illegals have my Social Security number. I don't know how many data centers have all my information plus whatever illegals who hacked, and I don't mean immigrants, I'm calling them illegals, because they are criminals who have hacked your information. And they say, oh, it's not a secure risk, bullshit. Bullshit. Yes, it is. And our government whitewashing all this crap is making them look like criminals. So, folks, if you want the technology put under control, you have to stop buying it because it's brand new. I know that with Christmas coming, Black Friday, everybody's got to spend $10,000 on a freaking holiday that most people don't even believe in. I don't support Christmas. In fact, I stopped doing any kind of Christmas. And Thanksgiving, for me, it's not the Thanksgiving that it was designed to be as a holiday. I see it as my holiday for my time with my family and enjoy a good meal. That's all. I don't see it as anything else because it cost me about $1,000 to cook that meal. No, thank you. So Christmas is out. Thanksgiving is out. The only one I can do still is Halloween. And I don't do Easter. I don't do, in fact, 99% of the holidays, I don't do at all, period. I will wish you happy whatever holiday if you wish it to me. But I don't celebrate them because I see it as profiteering off of religious beliefs that I think Jesus would just flip over in his grave if he had been buried. Yeah, buried. I cannot see any religion that uses Jesus' name as a good religion. You know why? Because they all profiteer, especially off of the poverty of others. No, thank you. So you keep your holidays. You can keep your newer cars. And I guess as when my electronics die, they're dead. I'm not replacing them. Because I can't trust the new iPhones. I can't trust the new Androids. I can't trust Google, period. You can't trust anybody anymore, especially when it comes to anything you do. Google logs my keystrokes. Google logs everything I do. And it's illegal for it to do it, but it's still doing it. Why? Because the government wants it to. Now they're trying to force in these horrible data centers that are taking up farmland. And they're saying, well, it's an infrastructure improvement. For who? Because it's not an improvement for me that you're spreading my data all over the world, and you don't care what other people. I can tell you right now, my phone has been hacked. The last 3 days, I've watched my apps change. Yeah, just change the position on the phone, and I'm not doing it. Someone's hacked my phone. Now, if I contact the company, nothing will get done. Nothing. And it's almost impossible to talk to a person at these companies because they got AI so far up their tuchus, they can't even see out their eyes. They can't think with their brains. AI's doing it for them. These employees up here at the top that are using AI against you are worthless, useless criminals. And you better start seeing them that way and teaching to your children that this is wrong, illegal, and not allowed in your country. I know it's not allowed in mine. Yet I see GM, Ford, Chrysler, all of the big companies. And if you rich people think, oh, I'm rich, so I'm not going to be wrong. You got more money to take than I do. So they definitely want to track yours. They want to track every time you push the gas, every time you turn on a turn signal, every time you say over to the passenger, put your seatbelt on, every time you don't say it and the seatbelt's on, not on. It's going to log it that you allowed a person in your car to ride without a seatbelt. Imagine that ticket when you get it in the mail. Look, I have no interest and no use for these big data companies. Now, if they want to start paying me for the usage of all the data they have stolen from me, they want to pay me royalties on my information, I am down with that. At least I'm getting something beneficial to me out of all these criminals stealing my information. Now, if I put a child in my car, in a car seat, strapped in, it's going to be logged. If I put a child who is, say, 13, too big for a car seat, it's going to log against me. People have had insurance go outrageous on them because of what the car recorded. Even if no accidents, no tickets, tickets were issued via the mail, via the tracking devices in your car. And you say, well, it can it can retrieve my car once it's stolen. Okay, well, here's the problem with that. Once your car has been stolen, it now becomes evidence. So they can retrieve it, but you don't get your car back. And it may be years before you are either compensated or your vehicle returned while they pursue a case against the thief. So you don't get your car back. It is a lie. You don't get your car back. You end up having to go get a new car. Well, right now, I've got a pretty good car. Knocking on the hardest wood I know. But it's an older model. And finding parts for it is getting more difficult. However, I still am able to work on my car. I can get my car running. And no government can turn my car off because they decided you haven't paid your taxes, you're behind on your mortgage, you're whatever. Yeah, now they can't do that because my car is too old. And I will not, ever, with the new technology in it, knowing how my privacy means nothing to these people but money. And I'm not getting anything out of it. So unless they want me to sign a paper that says, yeah, it's okay to retrieve my data as long as I'm paid $100 per transaction with my information. Because in one day they do at least a minimum of 5 transactions around the world with your information. That would be $500 right there on one piece of data released. Now, you want me to sign that? I will sign that. You can do your thing. But I'm going to have something out of it besides my information and my money stolen. So think twice, people. Cars today are not worth buying. Not at all. Not at all. They break down. They constantly have issues with computers overheating, with the technology. Well, I had a 2014 Explorer. Loved it. But I won't buy anything newer than that because that one alone could track me, except I did not use Siri with it, which it came with. I just didn't use it. I never set it up. So my regular maps didn't work. Didn't matter. I used my phone. So knowing that they were able to collect all this data off of my car, I felt like a stalker looking in the window watching me undress. Ew. My dog is grumbling because my husband should be off work or getting out of work soon and should be home. But my dog's grumbling because he wants to go out in the woods, and I won't let him go out in the woods because he gets full of ticks. He's wearing a collar, which can snag and catch on things. And as hard as the time as I have of releasing that snap so that I can take the collar off him, I wouldn't want him to get kept stuck in the woods with that thing on. Oh, quit your complaining. That's who you hear. Where you at? There he is. He's staring out the window. He knows his daddy's supposed to be home soon. All right, guys. I love you. I've said my rant. I feel sorry for the next generation and the generation after that, because we're trying to push everything through so fast, and there is no protection, and it's going to collapse the system. And maybe that's what it's trying to do. I don't know. All I do know is I can't trust Ford, which I've almost always owned Fords. I wouldn't buy one today. Now, if somebody wanted me to buy one from the 1980s, 1990s, or very early 2000s, I might consider it, but it ain't going to be bought through a dealership that can add shit to that older model vehicle. So if you're buying a used vehicle from a dealership, remember, they can put this technology in your car, in your truck, without your knowledge, without your permission, and it can be activated without your knowledge. So America, wake up to what you're buying and stop spending $40, $50, $60, $70, $80,000 for a car that is ripping you off and not compensating you for the use of your information. American Granny out.